But what we don't talk about is, Canelo. Steroids. Y'all don't talk about that. Well, come on, man. That kid was a cakewalk.
Canelo always has had a problem with boxers. He always struggles when he fights a boxer. Anybody knows that if you can box and take a punch, you're going to give him a hard time. Bud is not one of these guys that's going to quit.
Bud Crawford soundly defeating Canelo Alvarez. We thought that maybe he could have won by even a further margin on the scorecards. He gets it done unanimously. Teddy, can you put into words what we just saw from Terence Crawford?
Well, the only thing I wonder is if Crawford was born and made in a laboratory.
Floyd Mayweather has clowned Canelo Alvarez after his defeat to Terence Crawford. He stated that Canelo is no longer the fighter he once was and argued that people have always overrated his status. Mayweather pointed out that he had confidence in Crawford from the start and proved it by placing a huge bet on him. His gamble paid off in a big way as he walked away with major winnings. An X account even shared the betting receipt, writing, "Looks like Floyd Mayweather walked away with a bag after he bet $50K on Terence Crawford to beat Canelo." After his loss to Terence Crawford, Canelo Alvarez still carried himself with confidence and composure. He acknowledged Crawford's skill, calling him a great fighter who earned his victory, yet Canelo made it clear that he is far from done. Despite the disappointment of losing, he emphasized that he feels physically strong and mentally prepared for what comes next. By expressing his willingness to face Crawford again in the future, Canelo signaled that his fighting spirit remains intact. This statement reflects his mindset as a competitor who refuses to walk away from a challenge, especially when his pride and legacy are on the line.
I can say to him, I feel great to share the ring with great fighters like him. And if we do it again, it's going to be great. But you know what? I'm glad to share the ring with great fighters. And I'm glad to be here. I already did a lot in boxing. I already accomplished a lot in boxing. My legacy is already there, and I am still taking risks because I love boxing.
If you continue, do you feel like this is still the Canelo Alvarez that we've all known and loved for all these years, or do you feel like something's changed? Are you still the fighter that you were?
No, I feel great. I feel great. I feel strong. You know, Crawford is a great fighter, skilled fighter. And I get the credit to Crawford, obviously. And I feel great. I still feel the same.
Ryan Garcia shared his reaction after Terence Crawford's dominant win and praised his performance in a big way. He tweeted saying, "I actually believe Crawford may be the best fighter of all time." Garcia explained that what Crawford showed in the ring proves his exceptional skills and mindset. For Ryan, this victory pushes Crawford into a legendary category, and he openly admits that such greatness is rare to witness in boxing history. Veteran trainer and analyst Teddy Atlas broke down the fight by drawing a comparison to Canelo Alvarez's earlier loss against Floyd Mayweather. He argued that Canelo has always struggled with fighters who are quicker and sharper than him, pointing out that his footwork and hand speed remain a weakness even today. According to Atlas, these flaws were once again exposed by Terence Crawford, who despite being inactive for a year, came in prepared and hungry. Crawford's timing and movement neutralized Canelo's power, just as Mayweather's precision once did. Atlas stressed that this result proves Canelo's limitations against elite technical boxers, while Crawford's victory adds another chapter to his already growing legacy.
From the beginning, that if you go back, and I know it was a lot of years ago, I get it, but you have to have something to point at. If you go back to when he lost his first fight, of course, Canelo I'm talking about, to Mayweather, it wasn't just that his hands were too slow, his feet were too slow. And he's in there with a guy with quick feet and quicker hands. You know what? It doesn't matter how big he is. What did Ali say? Your hands cannot hit what your eyes cannot see. That was tonight. It was great.
Let's put some context on this.
It was great.
Let's put some context on this victory first. A year out of the ring. I think it was like 13 some odd months out of the ring, okay?
Yeah, really?
Yeah. 2 weight classes. Think about that.
Yep.
He had surgery early at the beginning of the year. Surgery on the shoulder surgery, right? Not sure which one. And to come in here and to put on that type of performance against Canelo that actually is coming off a performance, right? You expected Canelo to be sharp. He was sharp. However, what Crawford did was he took the air out of the ball.
Yep.
He used this. That's what boxing's about, people. It's about this. Strategy. That's what he had. He used his feet. He understood Canelo every single movement. That's why Canelo couldn't land any shots on him. He knew it was coming. He knew that the looping right hand was going to come from the southpaw position. So what did he do? Hold the phone. He knew that the hook to the body was going to come. What did he do? Block, and he shot up with counters.
One of his great assets that we don't hear about enough. One of those things that are not so easily as immeasurable on paper, but it's eyes, vision.
Focus.
Yeah, we know the physical ones we talk about and we understand so easily. Speed, power, quickness, legs, all that stuff. But eyes, just radar. This guy's got infrared.
Sports journalist Ariel Helwani quickly reported the official decision on social media, confirming what many watching already felt was clear. He tweeted, "Official, Terence Crawford defeated Canelo Alvarez via UD. 116, 112, 115, 113, 115, 113. The unanimous decision highlighted that the judges saw Crawford as the consistent winner across the rounds. Even though the scores were close, the outcome reflected Crawford's superior control of the fight. Helwani's update spread rapidly, cementing the fact that history had been made with Crawford overcoming one of boxing's most famous champions. The official numbers gave weight to the idea that this was not just a victory, but a calculated and disciplined performance that secured Crawford's place among the sport's elites. Teofimo Lopez, known for his own boldness in the ring, reacted with admiration for Crawford's achievement. He highlighted that the fight brought together two of the best in the world, and in his view, the right man emerged victorious. By stating that Crawford now belongs in the top 10 of all-time great fighters, Lopez underlined the magnitude of this win. For him, Crawford's style, composure, and execution set him apart as not only the winner of the night, but as someone carving out a place in boxing history. Such praise from an active champion further validates the significance of Crawford's victory and how it is perceived within the boxing community.
In terms of his prime, how can you gauge it?
Doesn't matter. We saw a great fight tonight, did we not? That's all that matters. Two guys risked it, and the better man won tonight. That was Crawford.
Terence got it right. Is there no need for a rematch, or do you want to see running back? Because it was pretty good, like you said.
No, it was it was really good, actually. So it's up to the jam. He's a jam. He can do whatever he wants.
What do you think happens with Canelo next after this?
What happens to Canelo after this? It don't matter. He's made a big statement for not only Mexico or the pride of Mexico, but for all Latinos right there. So he's done a great job for himself, man. Nevertheless, Crawford is on his way, continuing to create greatness.
Mentally.
What's up?
You called it for Crawford earlier. What did you see when you called it like that?
I know boxing. I just know stylistically. I've been in the gym with. I've shared the ring with Canelo, and then I see that. So
they were saying that if he beats Canelo, it could put him as even the greatest of all time. What does that put him in the all-time list, man?
At least top 10.
At least
top 10 or top 15, easily. There's guys that we may not know of or heard of, like Henry Armstrong. Simultaneously, he was 3 divisions carrying all 3 weight divisions at the same time.
Which performance was better? I don't like to compare them, but Crawford or Mayweather's over Canelo. Like it's just different.
It's just different styles, different looks.
At the post-fight press conference, Canelo Alvarez was asked about his experience facing both Floyd Mayweather and Terence Crawford. His response quickly drew attention, especially when he compared the two champions. Canelo openly stated that Crawford impressed him more, particularly in the later championship rounds where control and sharpness matter most. He emphasized his view by saying, "I think Crawford is way better than Floyd Mayweather." This bold statement not only praised Crawford's performance, but also sparked debate among fans about how the two legends truly compare in boxing history.
In the world of comparisons that we live in right now, if you can, compare and contrast the fight between yourself and Floyd Mayweather Jr. and tonight's bout with Terence Bud Crawford, if you can.
No, I think Crawford is way better than Floyd Mayweather.
In the aftermath of the loss, speculation around Canelo Alvarez's future began to grow. His comments and demeanor hinted that he might be considering retirement, especially as Crawford's win has shifted the balance of boxing's spotlight. The fight was described as one where Crawford schooled Canelo, using ring intelligence and adaptability to take control and seize the belt. This victory is already being framed as historic, with Crawford being spoken of as one of the greatest fighters of this generation. For Canelo, such a defeat raises questions about whether his era at the top has ended, while for Crawford, it solidifies his position as the face of modern boxing.
Was going to create history. I told you guys this before he fought Sean Porter. I said that Terence Bud Crawford can beat first ballot Hall of Famer and superstar and legend Canelo Alvarez. I've been saying this for years, that Terence Crawford can beat Canelo Alvarez. And tonight, he did just that. He did just that. Not only did he beat Canelo Alvarez tonight, but he arguably retired Canelo Alvarez, who after the fight, Canelo Alvarez stated that he's done everything that he needed to do in the sport of boxing. When asked, do he want a rematch with Terence Bud Crawford, Canelo Alvarez said, it's no need. He gave no indications of a rematch. And Canelo Alvarez stated that he's a Hall of Famer, he's a winner, just being there made him a winner, right? And he stated that he's done everything he needed to do in the sport of boxing. That's what he said. Canelo Alvarez got schooled once again. I told you guys, styles make fights. This style, this particular style of boxers and counterpunchers and movers has historically given Canelo Alvarez problems. And as I told you guys, right? Terence Crawford can fight any which way he chooses to fight. He's just that much more versatile. And everybody didn't believe me. They said I was tripping. Canelo was too big. He gonna knock out Terence Crawford, right? He too big, too strong. Terence Crawford get hit. Terence Crawford don't box, don't move. And I told you guys, when Terence Crawford wants to move and wants to box, right, he can. And he would, right? And guess what? Terence Crawford, I told you guys, when he fought the likes of Victor Postol, right? Y'all said that, oh, he don't move that much. I said, did you look at his fight with Victor Postol? Did you look at his fight with Jose Benavidez? Yeah, well, those guys ain't Canelo Alvarez. And I told you guys, it doesn't matter if they're Canelo Alvarez. It's about Terence Crawford's abilities to be able to maneuver around and box in every which manner he so chooses. If he wants to incorporate that style that he boxes and moves, he could. And what did he do tonight? I said Terence Crawford could fight at every level. Didn't I tell you guys that? I said Terence Crawford can fight in mid-range. He could fight on the outside. He could fight on the inside. Canelo Alvarez cannot. Y'all asked me, why aren't you talking about what Canelo Alvarez could do great? And I told you, because we know what Canelo Alvarez is going to do. He's going to fight. He's consistent in who he is and how he fights. Period. I told you guys that.
Boxing legend Andre Ward was quick to put Crawford's performance into perspective. He described it as a historic victory, calling it a generational fight that fans will remember for decades. Ward explained that fights like these define careers and separate great fighters from legends. Crawford's ability to dismantle Canelo while staying disciplined throughout the rounds impressed Ward, who has always valued ring intelligence and composure. By framing the win as a goated moment, Ward essentially elevated Crawford into the conversation of the greatest fighters ever, underlining the gravity of what just transpired inside the ring.
Seeing Terence Crawford create greatness and beat Canelo Alvarez tonight, what was your thoughts on that performance from Terence?
Terence Crawford, great performance, man. He's been doing this throughout the course of his career. The stakes were a lot different in this fight, a lot more danger. He had to fight that kind of fight in order to beat Canelo Alvarez tonight, and he did that at 37, but getting ready to be 38 years old. And he proved, like Max said, that he is the GOAT of this generation. Hats off to Canelo for taking the fight. He didn't have to take it. Hats off to Turki Al-Sheikh for putting putting it together. Just a great night for boxing.
Yeah. How special a fighter is someone like Terence Crawford? There was no signs of a size disadvantage there. How special?
You can see it in spots, but it wasn't significant. And I didn't think it was going to be significant. And people call me crazy, but I've been around Terence. He's strong. He's got a wrestling background, and people don't realize that he's been boiling himself down all these years and still being successful, not having to do that. His condition seemed impeccable, and his strength was there, the power was there enough to get respect from Canelo. So what more can I say?
What would you like to see him do next? Do you think there's another fight after this?
I'd like to see him be done. What are we boxing for at this point? What else is there to do? There's always going to be a YouTuber or a reporter or somebody conjuring up another challenge. We box to get ourselves in a better financial position, to build a name and a legacy. Those boxes are checked. What else are we doing?
Rising star Keyshawn Davis, who looks up to Crawford as both a mentor and inspiration, reacted with excitement and pride. He referred to Crawford as one of the GOATs, a title that young fighters rarely use so freely unless the performance truly demands it. Davis admired how Crawford executed his game plan with precision, never letting Canelo find his rhythm. For Davis, this fight is not just about a win, but about showing the boxing world that greatness comes from skill, intelligence, and hard work. His reaction reflected how deeply this victory resonates with the next generation of fighters who aspire to follow in Crawford's footsteps.
What's up, bro? Yes, sir.
What do you think made the difference?
The speed, really. Yeah. I think it was the main factor. Canelo couldn't really keep up with him. He was too fast. His feet, footwork was too good.
Do you think the scores was right on, or do you think maybe it was a little more towards Bud?
What was the scorecards?
115, 113, 116, 112.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah?
I feel like Bud damn near basically went every round, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's about right. You can say that.
Now, with this accomplishment, Keyshawn, is he on the Mount Rushmore of
Hell
boxers?
Yeah. Yes. Fuck yeah.
Yeah?
3-time undisputed. He just beat Canelo.
Yeah.
The face of boxing. So now you can say Bud is the face of boxing.
Greatest of all time, or?
Greatest of all time.
Yeah.
I don't feel like it can never be one great, but he definitely one of the greatest of all time, for sure.
Former heavyweight champion Lennox Lewis offered a brutally honest assessment of the fight. He questioned how any judge could have scored 5 rounds in favor of Canelo, pointing out that Crawford was the more effective fighter throughout. Lewis emphasized that Canelo has always struggled against boxers who move well, and Crawford's agility made the difference once again. While Lewis admitted he was expecting more explosive exchanges, he still recognized the technical brilliance on display. His critique highlighted both the flaws in Canelo's style and the importance of Crawford's adaptability, which neutralized the Mexican champion's offense.
Let me tell you, great fight. I was hoping that there was more action coming from Canelo. You know, I'm used to Canelo fighting that way all the time. He tried his best. He always has trouble against movers. I was really expecting them to be more punches, more movement by Canelo. What can you say?
This reminds me of the point that Jaya Patai made yesterday, and you picked up on it. He said he's coming in with all his belts. Terence looks like he's still hungry, and Canelo looks like he's whining and dining in his success. Do you think that might be the difference tonight?
Yeah, a little bit. I think it was a little bit of difference. The cat has got really fat, so he tried his best. I've seen Canelo box about many times, and I thought that this time he just boxed like he always boxes. And then I felt he couldn't really do nothing against Terence Crawford because Terence Crawford was too quick, too elusive. Anybody would find trouble with him, but Canelo couldn't find him.
The scorecards were 2 red, 115, 113. Were they right with the cards?
It was for Canelo to win a round. I say he won about 3 rounds in that fight. I was actually amazed at the way how Terence Crawford moved and never got hit, and threw combinations, because that's what you're supposed to do, throw combinations. So he threw combinations. He wasn't trying to knock out Canelo, but he definitely was throwing a lot of punches, a lot of combinations.
Roy Jones Jr., himself one of the most skilled boxers in history, was stunned by what he witnessed. He praised Crawford's victory as a beautiful performance, one that combined skill, patience, and strategy. Jones pointed out that Canelo has historically struggled with fighters who rely on speed and movement, and Crawford once again exposed that vulnerability. For Jones, this was not just a win, but a destruction of Canelo's usual approach, leaving him without answers. His words add weight to the idea that Crawford's performance was not only dominant, but also technically brilliant, leaving no doubt about who the better fighter was that night.
It's a beautiful performance, exactly what I expected. All I want to see was could he take the punch. If he could take the punch, we knew what was going to happen from that.
Did you expect him to trade with Canelo like that on the inside?
Yes, we spoke on the airplane going to Dubai.
Yeah.
The only thing I told him was that you could not give Canelo the center of the ring. And earlier you gave it to him, but then you started outboxing him and outsmarting him with it, and he started taking it back at the right time. So he studied his film very well. He knew when to fight, when to move left, and when to move right. Very smart fight. He completely frustrated Canelo.
Did you score it, Roy?
Huh?
Did you score it?
No, I didn't score it, but I think probably something like 8-4.
8-4?
Yep.
What do you think should happen next, Roy?
I have no clue.
Crawford put himself amongst the all-time greats like yourself with that.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
5-weight world champion,
Yes.
3-weight undisputed champion.
Yes.
Where are you putting him in the all-time list?
Hard to beat that.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned until next time.